Welcome to the new Camtasia Studio. We encourage you to watch and play with this Getting Started project video to learn some of the most important concepts of using the editor. If you want more in-depth tutorials that will walk you through the entire process of recording, editing, and sharing your videos, then please watch the Getting Started tutorials using this link under the Help menu. The editor is divided up into three main areas: the clip bin, the timeline, and the canvas. The canvas is where you see your video during playback and can move, resize, and reposition all media however you want. The timeline is where you assemble and edit your video. At the top of the timeline, tick marks represent time in terms of minutes and seconds. When building a video, you'll work in a horizontal manner, beginning from the left and moving sequentially through time toward the right. The tracks are layered on top of each other, so media you add on higher tracks is viewed on top of media on lower tracks in the canvas. For example, this callout is placed on top of the video track on the timeline, and therefore is on top of the screen video on the canvas. If I drag the video track on top of the callout on the timeline, the callout is now hidden behind the video on the canvas. Use the zoom slider to magnify the view of the timeline. This is very helpful when making precise cuts and selections, like removing ums in your audio. New media can be dragged and dropped on an existing track, or a new track is automatically created when media is dropped at this location at the top of the timeline. To change the position of a clip on the timeline, just drag it. To change the duration of a clip, drag the edges in either direction. An important part of the timeline is the playhead. To view your video, click play. Notice how the video and the timeline's playhead stay in sync. Click anywhere along the timeline and the playhead moves to that point. To remove a portion of your video, make a selection with the green in point and red out point. Then click the cut button. If you don't want media cut on a specific track, just click the lock icon. If you make a mistake while editing, press Ctrl-Z on the keyboard to undo, or choose Edit Undo. Double-click the playhead to deselect. Next, we'll look at the clip bin and the library. The clip bin holds recordings, audio files, images, and title slides being used in the project you're currently working on. The library stores video clips, intros, callouts, title slides, and other media assets you want to use from project to project. It is pre-populated with professional content you can use in your videos. You can download more media from our website by clicking this link. You'll find a lot more music, callouts, and animated titles to use in your projects, and it's all free. Once you find something you like this callout for example, just drag it to a track on the timeline and resize and reposition it as needed. Double-click the callout on the canvas to open the Callouts tab and edit the text, or change any of the text properties like color or size. You can find a number of other callouts to use in your projects by expanding the Shapes menu. You've probably noticed the video zooming in and out at times, for example here when it's zooming into the timeline. To learn more about adding and customizing zoom and pan animations to your video, check out the other Getting Started tutorials on our website. We've talked about some of the tabs already, but be sure to explore the others for adding and editing special effects. If they don't all show up as tabs, click on the More tab to explore others, like the speech-to-text capabilities and captions, and the improved quizzing. Also, transitions can now be dragged directly to the timeline and added on top of clips. So we've shown a few ways you can navigate and edit your video, but how do you get content into your video? To make a new screen recording, click the Record the Screen button. If you already have an audio or video recording you'd like to use, click the Import Media button. When you're done with your video project, you'll need to click the Produce and Share button to create a shareable video. Expand this menu to see a variety of presets. We have a new video player that plays back your MP4 video and includes other interactive features like table of contents, closed captions, quizzes, and even hotspots. These features are available when hosting your video on TechSmithScreencast.com or the video and player on your own web server. This player provides playback on multiple devices with just one video, whether it's a phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop computer. Well, it's time for you to try Camtasia Studio for yourself using the content on the timeline, or better yet, create your own. We have lots of free tutorials on our website, and I recommend you begin with the Getting Started series. Also, the help file inside Camtasia Studio tells you how to use each of the Camtasia Studio features and applications. One last thing, if you ever want to open this Getting Started project again to view or practice with, use this link here. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy Camtasia Studio.
Hi, in this video we are going to talk about tabular visualizations that we have created on Indian Education Dataset. The source for this data is District Information System for Education, and our target audience for these dashboards are center, state and district education authorities. Through these visualizations, we want to enable the target audience to explore the data and find patterns easily, thereby uncover some of the stories that the data is telling us. So we have created three dashboards, one that depicts overall literacy rate versus female literacy rate, and the second one is enrollment trends and factors influencing enrollment. The third one is teacher to enrollment ratio. So let's start with overall literacy rate. As you can see on the screen, the left top corner depicts the overall literacy rate of states, of all the 28 states and 7 union territories in our country. And you can see that Kerala is, on the top left corner, with the highest literacy rate of 91.86, and Jammu Kashmir with the least literacy rate. So the darker the color of any state depicts the higher the overall literacy rate here. And the second graph depicts as we want to focus on this dashboard, depicts the difference between female and overall literacy rate. So the way we sorted these districts is based on the difference between overall literacy rate and the female literacy rate. So the states having the bigger difference will stay on top of this chart. And as of now, it's showing all the districts of all these 35 states. And the below graph shows the enrollments over a period of like from 2008 to 2014, all the female enrollments of our nation as of now, because we haven't selected any state here. So we can quickly drill down because we are using dashboard actions feature here in Tableau. You can select any of the state and then automatically the data like the corresponding districts and the enrollments will automatically sorted out. You can see from this graph, though Kadapa is having close to 65% of overall literacy rate, but it stood on top in terms of the least female literacy rate compared to the overall literacy rate. And you can see West Godavari is having more or less close to the female literacy rate is close to overall literacy rate, which is doing good. So, and you can also find patterns in the enrollments here, understanding like whether we have already took the measure that is increasing the enrollments in this district. Otherwise, we can place in the required policies to increase the enrollment rate for females. Let's move on to the next dashboard. We can navigate through either here or you can click on the next dashboard button at the bottom here. So this dashboard talks about the enrollments and the factors that are influencing enrollments. So as we know from the data set, we have close to 500 plus columns. We're not sure which columns to use to see like that those are influencing the enrollment. So we have done principal component analysis like PCA to come up with some set of fields that have a common scale that we can depict on this plot. And we came up with these fields like with water facility, girls' toilets, electricity, approachable roads, midday meals, and PTR and PCR. PCR is nothing but student to classroom ratio. PTR is student to teacher ratio. So we want to make this dashboard very interactive and intuitive so that the end users can quickly get to the insights of the data. As of now, since we haven't selected any state on top of this pane, all you see is the numbers rolled up to country level. Like you see all the numbers at an India level. Now, if you want to drill down to a specific state, you can do that. Say, for example, I want to look at Kerala state. And once you click on that, the graphs will be automatically adjusted, both the graphs. And also you see the district pane is updated with the district that are specific to Kerala, and you can see here. And you can further drill down to a district level stats. If you want to look at Wayanad, you can just click on it and you see that the numbers that are corresponding to Wayanad are reflecting here. notice there was a subtle change in the trends in the Kerala numbers compared to the country. You see that the government numbers are much higher, government school enrollments are much higher than the private, and the contrary, the Kerala numbers are like, private enrollments are much higher than the government, and the gap is increasing day by day. So you can also get the details of each of these things, each of the factor or feature that we want to depict here. You can understand like how this has been changing, and you can also correlate that with the graph above on these enrollment trends. The other useful thing that I found, that people can use with this dashboard is like to find anomalies, or anomalies in your data or missing values. Like for example, you see in Andhra Pradesh West Godavari data, you see for the year 2011, you see the midday meals, like there are 3,034 schools that are supporting midday meals thing, but all of a sudden in 24 it came 0. This can be possibly a mistake done by the data collector, and then we can definitely reach out to them and update our data accurately. So let's move on to our third dashboard, which is student to teacher ratio dashboard. So this dashboard, from the previous dashboard, we understood that one of the factors influencing high enrollment rate is teachers availability. So in this dashboard, we want to take a closer look at this metric, and which helps the HRD team to understand states that are not performing well on this metric. Basically, we use two features here, as you can see on the screen. One is teachers with students to enrollment, states with teachers to enrollment ratio lower than 4, which means like we want to first focus on the states that are having less than 4 teachers for every 100 enrollments, and then we also apply another filter here with states with the number of enrollments more than 3 million, so that we want to first focus on the problematic states. So we applied these filters after doing some analysis. While states with high enrollments, like like in the case of Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, all this, in having higher enrollments is always a good thing, but it's equally important for the states to have a better teacher-student ratio, which will be directly led to a better quality of education. In this chart, we can see that usual suspects like BMARU states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh are having low student to teacher ratio. And we also see, surprisingly, some states like Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra and Karnataka also showing in this graph as as a problematic thing, though they are relatively economically well off. Maybe the reason now in the latest years they might be doing right, so that's why we see an empty row for the Tamil Nadu and Karnataka here. So from this chart you can conclude that Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh are the top 3 priorities to fix the teacher-student ratio and apply the necessary measures. With that said, we have covered like 3 dashboards. One that covered differences between female and overall literacy rate, and enrollments and factors influencing enrollments, and teacher-student ratio with an intuitive user interface and filtering options. Thanks for your time. There is Team Synergy comprising Shiva, Srikanth, Sudha and Shravya. Thank you.